Well, in today's day and age of NBA basketball, typified by petulant, entitled, alleged great players who are all about telling you how great they are, while simultaneously going out of their way to sidestep every obstacle en route to taking the easiest path possible. We are then inundated with supposed analysts and journalists telling us how much better today's era is from past ones, about how the athletic superiority of players today, who can barely play 70% of their games on a yearly basis, would have rendered the grades from previous eras incapable of competing at this level. All the while, guys who can barely dunk a basketball have been launching ongoing assaults of the purported super athletes of this generation. There are 6'1", 180-pound bench players averaging 5 points per game, dropping 50 points in today's league.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
No, seriously, that happened. Detroit Pistons 25-year-old backup point guard Malachi Flynn, who has been in the league since 2020, is on his third team in 4 years and is sporting career NBA averages of 5.2 points, 1.8 assists, and 1.7 rebounds per game, just poured in 50 points off the bench in 34 minutes on 18 of 25 from the field. Oh, and his team lost the game, by the way. Back in an era where they used to actually play defense, 50 points was a benchmark event. For some perspective, Shaquille O'Neal, who is 9th on the all-time NBA scoring list, led the league in scoring 2 times and, to many, constituted the most dominant player in NBA history while in his prime, posted 3 50-point games total in his 20-year NBA career. And yet in today's best era ever, unknown 6'1", 180-pound journeymen are doing it in 34 minutes because no one is competing. No one is taking pride in the defensive side of the ball. Players today can barely be troubled to break a sweat if it isn't towards padding their inflated scoring averages via some uncontested three-point shot or jogging the floor for a layup or dunk. And by and large, fans are disgusted with the garbage product being run out there on a nightly basis. It is undeniable as NBA viewership continues to plummet to hilarious and embarrassing all-time lows, where just this season, the 5 NBA Christmas Day games averaged 2.9 million viewers per game, while the 5.5 million suckers who turned into the All-Star game this season constituted the second lowest view share for that game in the last 35 years. The only lower figure was the 4.6 million viewers last season. And as the NBA's product continues to crumble, yet another laughable humiliation has been brought to Adam Silver's doorstep courtesy of Caitlin Clark. The transcendent talent is taking the world of women's basketball by storm. Check that, just the world of basketball in general, as Clark is single-handedly demolishing the NBA. The Iowa guard became the all-time NCAA women's scoring leader earlier this season, and she also has the highest per-game scoring average in history at 28.5 points per game. But she is dropping eye-popping numbers in the ratings department as well. Earlier in this year's NCAA tournament, in a second-round matchup between her number 1 seed Iowa Hawkeyes and the number 8 seed West Virginia Mountaineers, which was Clark's final home game, 4.9 million viewers tuned in, making it the largest pre-Final Four audience in women's March Madness history. But that was nothing, as earlier this week, in an Elite 8 rematch of last year's national championship game with LSU, Clark pulled in 12.3 million viewers, making it the most watched women's basketball game ever. And it is an absolutely astonishing number, which is higher, significantly so, than any NBA game this season so far. In fact, it has outdone almost every NBA game for the last 4 years now. as the league as a whole has been on a downward spiral ever since Adam Silver rolled out the pathetic sham of an exhibition tournament disguised as an NBA championship, where amid the NBA's unabashed, rampant politicizing and pontificating, we had LeBron begging for his respect, amid an average of just 7 million viewers tuning in per finals game, which was the lowest viewed finals since tracking began in 1988. 8.59 million people tuned in to Game 6 to see LeBron James win his 4th NBA championship, while 12.3 million just watched Caitlin Clark play in an Elite 8 college game.
And I want my damn respect too.
But LeBron isn't alone. He's just the poster child and the almighty king, perched atop a throne of feces, residing over the destruction of the NBA. As Clark's game versus LSU generated more viewers than 19 of the last 23 NBA Finals games.
What?
Yes, you heard that right. Only 4 games since the Warriors-Raptors series in 2019 was just outwatched by an Elite 8 women's college basketball game. What an absolutely humiliating time to be associated with the NBA. But if you watched the Iowa-LSU game, and many did, obviously, based on these ratings, the product is just better. Yes, the NBA has the best athletes with the best skill sets, but with the effort level and the competitive product at literal all-time low points, this is just set to become an ongoing trend. The NBA has a massive competition problem, and it is because they have been overtaken by a crop of pampered TikTokers who are more consumed with their individual brands and bank accounts than they are with winning basketball games. They are led by their chosen one, the king of player empowerment, and he has authored the unmitigated demise of the NBA. And until the NBA fixes that, the massive exodus of viewers to other options will only continue in record-setting fashion.